Hello, this is Catherine Toon, author, prophetic speaker, and coach. And I wanted to minister to you today a little bit about what the Lord has in terms of his mastery over things that maybe we have been feeling have just been too big. Too big. I recently read an article in Psychology Today, and it was all about the connection between trauma as in children and literal a changing of our DNA and the changing of how literally the anatomy and physiology of the brain itself, and how that sets up people to struggle in areas that otherwise they wouldn't be struggling as much at. Now, this is kind of a no-brainer, but from a physiological standpoint, if your brain, because it has been traumatized with multiple traumas in particular, has been physiologically changed so that you physiologically are not able to adapt and respond to stressors that would be easier for that would just be daily stressors. But these are bigger because you're on hyper alert, danger, Will Robinson, right? And if people grown up with parents that were abusive or neglectful or had other types of trauma, particularly multiple things, issues in the classroom, all these kind of things, sexual abuse, whatever that would be, physical abuse, all these kinds of things are kind of a setup for even physiologically to overcome, because physiologically you're at a disadvantage. So unfair becomes unfair, and that's really crappy. But guess what? God is able to get us out of those places. You know, when unfair things have happened to you, regardless of what age, God has a response. And he's literally not only able to help you deal with the emotional fallout, he's able to help you deal with the physiological fallout that you've been predisposed for autoimmune diseases and cancers and all sorts of things, not to mention depression and anxiety and all those deals that tend to happen and cluster. And so people go from a crappy childhood to a crappy adulthood, and it's just not okay. And the Lord has a response for that. He's able to deal with all that DNA stuff, with all that physiological issues. He has a response to whatever has been coming against you. And the thing is, in the place where we can connect with him, he's able to minister very profoundly in those places. So I'm so appreciating that science is catching up to really the physiological implications. And the truth is, if this has been you, don't judge yourself. Don't get in condemnation about it, but don't also use it as an excuse. If this is not you, but someone you know, don't judge them. Don't condemn them, but don't also get in the place where you feel like somehow there's something wrong with them, right? There is something wrong, but it's not wrong with them. It's what has happened to them that has caused them to behave in certain ways that are out of proportion. And so I just encourage, let's bear with one another. Let's help one another. Let's be solutions. And the beauty of it is the Lord delivers you, and as he heals you, you get to be a voice, you get to be a force of deliverance and help to other people. Now, that doesn't mean, that doesn't have to look like anything in particular. Any place where hope enters the room, you've just transformed the atmosphere. Even if you're an accountant working at your desk, right? You've got something to offer that's a response to what people are needing. So in that place, you take advantage of the very thing that came against you to be a voice and a solution with that, not only as you're healed and delivered in your own life, but to be that for other people. You see, God always gets to be the last word. Love gets to be the last word. So I hope you're encouraged today. I encourage you to check out more stuff on catherinetoon.com. Marked by Love is coming out soon. If you're watching this later, go check it out if you haven't already. And I hope you have an amazing day.